with another video. Today I'm going to be just doing live, and well, I've been doing live each time since recently. But I mean, what I mean by live is I'm going to be doing live games, my games live, and I'm pretty much trying my best to go over explanations move by move, talk about pretty much what am I doing, why am I doing it, from the things that I learned, like chess principles, tactics, and so forth, from the best that I can. That's pretty much what I want to be doing for this video. Um, yeah, I decided to ask my group what they wanted. I gave them a list of 5 choices. The choices that I gave them were the puzzles that I normally do, the custom puzzles like pins, forks, screws, and a couple other basic ideas if they wanted to go through that. And that was 2 of them. One of them was 3 plus 2 minute games with viewers, and one was a higher card bot, queen odds. Then there was this, which is my game. So I decided to ask, and they picked my games with full explanations. So pretty happy to start that. I'm going to be right now sharing this really quick to a few groups. Hopefully, hopefully, people come by and click the link. But right now, I'm basically getting into doing this. So if you're on right now, just hold on a second. I'm just going to be sharing this with a few pages. I'm going to be sharing this on my wall too on Facebook and everything because I've asked people if they wanted me to do that, and they said they did. So I'm super happy to do this. So I'm starting to. 1 second. Full games with explanations. All right. I'm gonna do the page as well. I kind of just want to get this out there, and also my own page as well. So okay, that's everything right there. So I'm pretty much ready to go now. I'm gonna be like I said, doing my own games. 15 minutes plus 10 seconds, and yeah. So here we go. Let's get this one started. All right. Play live chess. Live chess right here. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna do my opening report, the one that I normally play, the one that I created for myself, and also try my best to explain what I'm doing. Okay, so here I always go for the perk. Sometimes I also, I can't show arrows. That's right. Sometimes I go for the what's it called, Budapest Gambit. After I can't do arrows in this mode, so I'm gonna go ahead and give myself the option by playing knight to f6, and I'll be playing either d5 or d6 depending. If he plays c4, I like to respond with d5. Okay, so he's going more for. It looks more like the London possibly. I'm gonna do d6 real quick. If he continues to play moves like the London, I like to play c6 at some point. The reason being is because my queen on b6 will be attacking his pawn. So if he locks in this pawn here and I move c6, it'll be so I can play b6 to attack this pawn and force him to move it or defend in a different way. His bishop can't go back, and it's going to cause him a little bit of a structural problem. Something that I learned to do against London players. So let's see what he does here. Yeah, because it kind of does mess it up a little bit. Yeah. Other ideas I normally go for if he doesn't do that is g6, bishop g7, and then castle is what I normally do. As for the perk, I like playing the perk or King's Indian, depending on the move order. I don't really remember which one's which, but I believe I'm closer to the perk than the King's Indian. I believe the King's Indian is straight up g6, bishop, g7, and so forth. But they transpose a lot, so and there's too many variations for me to remember them all. So that's for sure. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this today. I feel really good. It's been like I normally don't do it on the weekends because the kids are home from school. Um, and today, actually, one of them is home from school, but she's asleep, so I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully, I can make a habit of this. Actually, probably start doing it on the weekends. So he's taking a long time for the third move. I'm a little confused. So I'm gonna send a message. A few question marks. I don't understand why the third move would take so long. You would think at this level people have an open report usually or an understanding of what they're doing and why they're doing it. So it's very confusing to me. So um, yeah, there's no reason to take this long in the opening. Um, uh, oh, I just figured to ask because um, let's see here. I'm gonna go C6 and get ready. He doesn't know what opening report is. That's kind of weird. He's actually really high level for not knowing it. He must be probably naturally talented if that's the case. It is possible to not study much and actually get this rating. Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. Some people, like I said, are actually really good with. Oh, that's. I just tell them to look online. I just. Um, okay. Now earlier I would have played e5, but because his bishop and his knight is here, I can't. For like the what's that called again? Budapest Gambit. But with these pieces here, it's impossible. Usually it's d4, knight f3, knight f6. I'm sorry, c4, then e5, and then if he takes knight to f4, attacking the pawn and get into Budapest Gambit. Here, I can't do that, and I also can't play the queen move that I want because he can easily just you know go back and defend it if he has to, which actually wouldn't be that bad for me if I move here now, even though he's not blocked in he would have to undevelop or move his pawn to weaken his structure a little bit. Because I feel like I can attack on the queen side possibly, especially he hasn't developed his pieces yet, his queen side pieces. So I am thinking that queen of b6 might be pretty good. Bishop f5 actually looks pretty good as well. I kind of like that. Bishop f5 going over this diagonal, but my knight can't really come in the way I would have liked to attack the c2 square. I have to go over here and then knight a6, then knight to b4. And that's kind of a little difficult to get in. So I'm not 100% sure. But I do like queen of b6. So I'm just going to go ahead with that, attack this pawn, and force him to make a decision. Moving this up will actually weaken the structure a little bit, I believe. and obviously moving his bishop back is also kind of bad. So the only option I think he'd have would be queen to c2, because he can move his queen to c2. I believe is the only good move. He can move his pawn up, then come in and over here to bishop to d3. Oh yes. Oh, he didn't know that. Yeah, I kind of figured he didn't know that. Yes, it's full lines, and I spelled that wrong, but that's okay. um, uh, I forget the guy's name. There's a guy, GM, um, started to end something Spaskity. I forget. Um, GM something Spaskity. I'm gonna put chess first. GM Daniel, Daniel. I think this guy does the best job explaining almost everything. Um, and kind of how I learned how to explain things, to be honest, the best that I could for you guys. So it's like me trying to learn from him and make it as easy as possible to explain it to you guys. That's basically what I'm doing. So yeah, so I'm doing my best to explain to you guys what I've learned from. Oh, I put Daniel, not Daniel, not. All right. So, mm, okay. So from here, I have some few ideas. Bishop to g4, attacking the knight. I can't go to bishop f5 anymore because the queen's in the way. So I can actually try to attack the knight, put a little pressure on, because if he moves his pawn to develop his bishop, I can just take it and maybe mess up his pawn structure a little bit. But I'm not 100% sure if that's what I should do. I like the knight to h5 as well. Knight to h5 attacks the bishop, and he kind of is just forced to move it around here, but I'm not really sure that's going to do a lot. I usually play knight to h5 after e3, though. That's what I normally play to attack the bishop and actually force myself to win it. I'm going to go with my normal perk setup, g6, and just continue. I feel like I should go with my natural stuff that I've learned. Um, just make sure everything's okay. Because sometimes when I veer off too much of my opening, I'm trying to respond to stuff. But if I veer off my opening too much, I usually sometimes get in trouble and get checkmated. I start creating weaknesses by just responding to his moves. So I definitely don't want to do that. Definitely don't want to do that. So all right. Let's see here. Yeah, bishop to g4, attacking the knight. If I were to take the knight and he were to take back, this pawn right here would be free. So Uh, yeah, bishop to f4. I was thinking about this and the pawn thing, and I didn't realize that this pawn here would be gone. So I can actually do that to threaten to win this pawn. That actually would be good. Um, I noticed one of the most difficult things to watch out for is pawns because we're kind of used to looking out for our pieces more than anything else. You know, our pieces are we're worried about losing our queen more than anything else, and then after that, our rooks, and then after that, our knights and bishops, and then our pawns. So it's actually sometimes kind of easy to win a pawn because of that. So let's see here if he defends it. Most people do a pretty good job at this level defending pawns. I do usually. I think I might blunder a pawn or two like every 3 games. So if my opponent's the same way, why not give him the opportunity to blunder a pawn? Okay, so c5. I'm not loving that move. I can just take it. To be honest, my king's not going to be any danger. There's no like diagonals that can attack him. The diagonals are completely cut off by this pawn here on the c6, and also on f7 and g6. This diagonal is completely cut off. So if I take it, it opens it up a little bit, but I still have this pawn here defending. I can still castle, and he can't really attack this pawn very well. His queen can't come here to e4 to attack it. So it looks pretty fine. I can just take it with ease. It looks pretty safe. Let me see if okay. So no one's talking in chat. I just wanted to see if anyone was talking in chat or not. So I clicked it, but yeah, okay, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't see any actual real danger that he can actually do for me taking the pawn. I mean, he can play the knight move, knight to h4, but yeah, like I said, you see what he said here about the openings. He no opening. Check it out. I kind of figured he um, wasn't really too into openings after that. A lot of times people usually assume if you take too much time in opening, you're cheating because you should know your opening report, which I agree, you should know it. But I don't agree with the fact that everyone who takes their time is cheating. Um, he played what I thought he might play. Um, he gets to attack the pawn. After him with a queen, he can win it with his knight and actually have a pretty good, control. But I can anytime play b6. That's why I'm not worried about it. Wasn't something super serious. I just gotta make a decision. Do I call a check? Do I go queen d8? Do I go queen c7? I have queen c7 possible, queen d8 possible, and also queen e5 to call a check. But I'm not sure if let's say he moves his bishop back. Queen a5 check, bishop d2. Yeah, I don't really see a good follow up after that. Don't like it very much. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't see any reason to call the check, so I'm gonna not do this. So I have queen c7 or queen d8. So basically, wait, queen c7 will lose to the bishop. I do not have queen c7. All right. I have queen b5 check, but runs the same problem with bishop d2. So I'm gonna go queen d8. I think queen d8 would be best. Yeah, queen d8 looks best for me. So I feel like I kind of wasted a move a little bit, but that's not too bad. I think I'm fine. I was going to do arrows, but I fully understand why they don't allow it. Maybe there's some in the options that I can do to change that. What is it? Oh, it says leave site. I don't want to do that. I might get kicked out of the game. After this game, I'm gonna see if I can look at the settings. Maybe I can change the settings where I can do arrows during my games. I don't know if it's in the settings or if it's just a rule. It makes sense if it's a rule because it might give someone an unfair advantage. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead with my continue my development, bishop g7 and castle. The move d takes c5 wasn't really that much surprising and doesn't really change much. I mean, he can attack my queen with his rook, but that's not really going to do much. I'll just develop my knight, my b knight to d7. So it's not a concern. I would just develop my knight in response. And then I can queen whenever I want to. So, yeah. So I just basically develop. Just nothing for me to worry about. Yeah, definitely develop whenever possible. And sometimes when you're attacked, developing move and kind of your developing move, if it's combined with a defensive move at the same time, then that's awesome. That is just helpful for you to get your forces out. So that helps me to get my pieces off the board. Pieces off the back of the board. Not off the board, but off the back of the board. Okay. I wasn't really expecting that. It's a bit aggressive. I don't see exactly how he can take advantage of anything. I know my bishop's under attack, and so is my knight and my bishop. But if it takes my bishop, I can take it back with my knight, and my bishop would be attacking. So it's not really a threat. I'm not sure if I should move my bishop or not. If I do, I would move it to f5 to attack the queen. So I'll be like defending my bishop and counterattacking, which looks like a good idea. Any move you make should have multi-purpose moves. Um, so I'm looking at that. If he defends with, let's say, something like e4, I can just take it with my bishop and attack his queen again. So I don't see a way for him to counterattack. And also, if he moves his queen out to diagonal from the knight, I can eventually call a check and try to do something here. Maybe. Really just depends on what happens, but this looks pretty good. I like this because I'm attacking the queen and I'm also defending my piece at the same time. So it's counterattacking. Anytime I get a chance to counterattack, I like to take it because it allows me to get an extra move. So I feel like it just gave me an extra tempo. Let's see how this works. I think queen b3 will keep him on his diagonal and defend his knight. I need a castle soon. I think we're pretty much even, except for the fact that I'm a little bit more developed, but I don't really think that matters because I'm like one move away from castling, and all you guys do is like develop his bishop and castle. So I don't really see how much an advantage that is, especially after he moves. If he moves to queen to b3, I have to defend his pawn. So that's not, I don't actually have to. I can let him take it. I think the rook move and bringing him up would be good for me. If I castle, I say he moves queen to b3 and I castle. He takes my pawn, and I move rook to b8, and he takes his pawn. And I go, ooh, I can't go up here right away because of his knight. Okay, that might not be good. That might not be good. But I also can call check first. Queen to a5 check. If I castle, he takes. I can do queen a5. I don't know. It just looks like a lot. Um, I do like it though. I think I should defend my pawn. No, if I really defend my pawn, he would have checkmate right here. Queen to f7. Um, yeah, I have to defend this right here. I'll get checkmated in one. That's the attack he has. I should always go over what attacks he has first before I think of my own plans. So that's kind of a mistake that I made, is not thinking about that. That wasn't the first thing I thought of, and that's something I should always think of first. I think I should defend. Okay, so I can defend with my bishop. That'd probably be best. I'll go ahead with this. Attack his queen. He can come in. That's fine. Um, I could also castle too, but it was just a little hard to find a follow up after castling. So I kind of want to attack his queen, force him to take my pawn, and then maybe castle. But I don't know. Might be in a bad spot. I'm glad I seen a mate in one. It would have been really messed up if my first game I lost with less than 20 moves. And if I got checkmated in 13 moves. I'm going to castle here. So go ahead. Get out of dodge. He's definitely winning, though, for sure. I think right now he is winning. But I'm going to have to start counterattacking a lot more aggressively now because I'm fully developed. I'm castled. He isn't. So now I have to find ways to just just get out there and start attacking, I guess. Yeah, if he takes here, which is what I think he's gonna do, I probably should. I'm not sure if I should go queen to e8, defending my pawn. Because if I was thinking about attacking, but he can hit this pawn here. If I go somewhere, I can't even call queen a5 check because he would take it. So I go to queen e8 probably. He's taking a lot of time, so I'm assuming he's going to eventually start blundering very soon. But I'll be okay. I'm not super worried about it. I want to attack, to be honest. I don't like this very much. Okay, it's not too bad. Uh, Definitely. If I call check and he moves the bishop back, I can take his knight for free. That's a free knight. Because queen a5 check, bishop to d2, I take his knight. If he takes my queen, I take his queen. So I get a free knight. Queen a5 check, I think he should defend with his knight, is what his best move should be. I think I'm going to give him a chance to blunder. You always got to give your opponents chances to blunder. I've learned I started becoming a very solid player I think around 1300, I felt pretty solid. My problem is that I was very drawish. A lot of things that I did was pretty drawish, and that ended up hurting my game. I had to keep finding ways to counterattack to get past that. Um, because I knew how to see stuff, but I always was very defensive, and I didn't keep looking for ways to my opponent to blunder. Like for example, he could have moved here, and I'm like, well, since he has that move, I might not do it. But the thing is that it's not a bad for me either. So why not do something that's not bad for me that can make him blunder? You know. So I think about stuff like that. And I can take the pawn back. I don't see a drawback in taking the pawn. I should actually do that because I don't want to I don't know. I don't want to be like worse off in material, you know. So I'm going to do that. I don't really see much drawback from that, so I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah. If you're watching this, you can totally just message in chat and talk with me a little bit. I'm perfectly cool with that. It could be about random stuff too. I'm not super picky about it while I'm playing. I can talk about my moves and also whatever else is going on. All right. So that was something I was a little bit unsure about. Um, he's threatening. He may threaten my queen, and he's threatening my knight at the same time. I can always counterattack his queen immediately, just to prevent anything, like rook to c8. If he attacks my queen, I can attack his queen. But I also have the issue of his knight. But then again, I can always call check. No, I can't because he'll take his knight. All right, so if I play rook to c8, I'm gonna say I play rook to c8 and he goes knight to b5, attacking my queen. Well, I can actually just take the pawn then. The pawn on a2 will be free. So it doesn't look so bad. I'm gonna go ahead with that. I don't want to spend too much time. I'm a little ahead of time ahead on clock, and I don't want to waste too much time. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm worried about, time trouble stuff. So I'm gonna attack his knight. I'm just gonna keep attacking his pieces and try to make sure when I'm doing so that I'm not falling for any type of traps or tricks at the same time. It's not too bad so far. My structure seems pretty solid. I'm down a pawn, but all my pieces are more active than his. And I feel like going back to queen a5 just to have fun. That would be interesting. Now, queen of b6 also is interesting, attacking his b pawn. The b pawn is a little weak, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I don't see much of a drawback. Okay, I'm looking around, scanning for threats at the same time before I make my move. This is a slow game. Most of the games at this level are very slow. They're not very exciting as they are under 1,000. Like, to be honest, when you play and you're like everything's blundering, you're blundering, your opponent's blundering, everyone's blundering. It's like a blaze of glory. When you really get into the structure and everything of chess, it becomes a bit more positional. Little things are considered big things, and it's hard to really play. I think at this point, and then you have to. At this point, I believe my next stop is to really perfect my moves, and I'm not sure if I'm able to or if I'm going to, because at this point it is pretty difficult and it is kind of fun, but I'm not sure at what point would become not so much fun for me, you know. But I do like it. I find it challenging. I think I have to find more advanced stuff that is exciting that I haven't learned yet for like attacking and so forth. I think I just move my rook to d8. Um, Rooks belong on half files or open files. Is open file. And the reason why I'm thinking about that is because he's not developed these pieces yet, and I kind of want to find a way in here. I really do. I want to find a way in here, so I think that might be best. Yeah, probably wants to go queen e5 just for fun, just to make him move back and forth, but I'm not going to do that. I've taken a lot of time on that. He has a minute less than me, so I'm not too worried. I have to make sure I don't lose on time. This can happen very easily in these games too at this time control, because there's a huge you can get so into the game that you forget how much time is left. I think I have a tactic here. Well, fork takes d1. I'm not 100% sure. If I play, knight to e4, and he takes my knight, and I go rook to d1, and queen takes d1, knight takes knight. Yeah, I think he's pretty bad off if I do that. Knight to e4, he's going to have to take it. Take, I take. I think that makes him pretty passive. My pieces are pretty aggressive, and I'm basically trading off all of his active pieces. He doesn't have these pieces are not active. All my pieces are active, but I'm using my active pieces to trade off his active pieces. And I think that would be really good for me. Let's see if he takes or not here. That's my guess, is what he's going to do. And he was going to take my rook. But if he takes my knight, he'd probably think he might win a piece, but I can take here. He takes, I take back. Okay, so he didn't do that. He didn't do that. I have to find ways to trade in a way that's going to make me have more active pieces than him. I'm going to just take his rook. I definitely don't want to start losing the time. But I want to take his active pieces off the board since all my pieces are active. So I keep thinking about in those terms and finding ways to make sure that he's not going to become active. Yeah, these pieces are not in the game, and I want to make sure it stays that way if I can. That's my goal right now, to find a way to constrict him so that I can win. Like, for example, capturing here will be bad, because if I take the knight, he can just take back and help him castle. And I don't want him to castle. I want him to do really bad. And actually, that would be good. If I take his knight and he takes back, I have a check and I can win his bishop back. So that actually would be good. That's something I didn't want to do, but I just realized that I would be winning a piece. So that is perfectly fine. These type of tactics just creep up on you like they do when you have a better position. That's why it's super important to avoid tactics. And for me, I like to avoid tactics and try my best to improve my position, because if you have a better position, sometimes these tactics will just creep up on you. Like I noticed that positionally that'd be bad for me, but I also realized that I would end up winning a piece. So why not? So I should be winning very very soon. My goal right now is to trade all my pieces with his and basically just win. He's has time trouble. I don't think no. He think he realized it yet. Yeah, if I take his knight right now, I'll lose my queen. That's a good counterattacking idea. I'm just gonna take his knight here, but I'm worried about his bishop. I can actually call check right here and take his queen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. He probably is gonna resign here. Yeah, good game. Yeah, he there's not much that he could have did anyways at that point. So I'll probably just add him. All right, so new game. How do I get into new game? So you see that I kind of played a little bit, kind of slowly develop, slowly push my pawns, slowly push my pieces, and it's a very slow build up. Is basically what I end up doing. So let's try another one. All right. Let's see here. Hopefully I'm right this time. Otherwise, you'll see another similar to the perk or the perk, which is fine. If you like the perk defense, then you'll learn how to slowly get yourself to where you need to go. Okay. Perk for sure. E4, D6 immediately. I don't even have to. And here I played knight to F6, attacking the pawn. The most common move is knight to C6, C3 to defend it. That's the most common way to defend. See what he does here. 1366. He should have. He took his a little bit of time, so I'm guessing he's using chess principles instead of a chess opening, which means I can probably trick him in the opening. If he plays bishop c4, I can actually open up the whole entire position at some point because he's using chess principles for his opening. Chess principles are controlling the center, developing your pieces, castling early, putting your pieces in active squares. Yeah, when you take that much time, that means you don't have a prep for this. So, and at his level, he has to know a pretty good deal about developing and putting his pieces in active squares. So, yep, bishop c4. Basically, the idea at some point would be knight takes e4, knight takes e4, and then I play d5. The reason I won't play it immediately because he has an in-between move of bishop takes f7. I take, the knight takes. That's bad for me. So I'm gonna move my bishop first. I'm gonna castle and then I'm gonna take. So as long as the position's like this, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Glass almost fell. Hear the cat scratching, and then let's make sure the cat's fine. Let me see him. Oh. All right. Let's go ahead here and see what he does. Okay, I'm gonna castle. That doesn't change my plan at all. So now I'm capable of doing what I wanted. And what I want to do is play knight takes e4. Okay, now I can do it. Knight takes e4. This opens up the position. It looks like a bad move at first, but it's not. This is a little tactical thing that I've learned. All it does is basically after he takes and I move up, I get to take one of the pieces back, and it opens up the center a little bit, and it makes my bishop more active. So this is, yeah, and this opening, if people you don't know it, and they go by chess principles and put their knights on c3, f3, bishop c4, bishop f4, and you can eventually just go ahead and take it, this pawn here. If he takes back, d5, forking the knight and the bishop. So it's perfectly fine. Yeah. I always do that to people who play the very classical variation of against the perk. Yeah, main line. Yeah, whenever people play the main line, I do that. It's a classical variation. And because he took his time, I know he's not used to it. It's weird that the classical variation is just basically natural chess principles. Which simply means that anyone who knows chess principles will probably play this line, even if they don't know it's an actual line. He can also play bishop takes f7, and I'll take my rook, and then he can take here. That's also very possible. Most people just take up the knight here, and I play d5 and fork. But taking this way actually could be better because it weakens my king side. But people normally don't play that. They actually just take back up the knight. So, and it's normal for people at this rating to take their time because they get confused. They're like, they don't know what happened, and they want to make sure that they play a pretty good move. So that's perfectly fine and understandable. And I could still play d5 here, attacking the knight, forcing him back a little bit. Knight to c6 is also normal, and h6 is also normal. The reason why h6 is normal is to prevent the knight from coming in here. So I can play d5, and then his knight can come in, and then I can my rook again, and then it can become really ugly. So I'm just going to go ahead and play h6. I was thinking about d5, but I don't like the knight to g5 move. It's just, I think it's ugly for me, and I don't like it. Now I can probably play d5 comfortably and force his knight backwards and not to g5. Because after g5, I got to put my pawn somewhere. And then after I put my pawn somewhere, he can come in to e6 at some point. And I have bishops there now, but, queen e2. I mean, there's different moves like queen e2. Then I just don't like the way it looks. I want to attack this pawn. I'm not sure if c5 would be good right now. Yeah, he can just take it, though. He can just take it. But that also opens up my bishop. So I kind of like it. Kind of like c5. I'm going to go ahead with it. My pawn structure is already pretty much damaged, but I want to at least get my bishop active. So I'm going to lose a pawn, but it's going to be for activity. Like that's going to be the reason for it. I really don't know the best way to move my pawn, e5 or c5 in this opening. I'm still kind of learning it. Sometimes I move it in the wrong time. Sometimes I don't. I haven't actually understood it exactly. But I'll go ahead and just take control of the center. I set the pawn for the center, basically. Force his pawn out, activate my bishop, allow my knight to come in. If he moves his bishop out the way, I can eventually take here, but he can take an h6 as well. I didn't think about that. Normally that's not the case because my pawn's on h7, so I probably should have thought that over a little bit positionally, but I don't have all the time in the world, so I kind of have to make moves, and I did, and I have to with them and decide what to do next. All right, so he's not giving me any trouble. So I'm gonna go ahead and just develop. He just moved back and didn't play any forcing fighting moves. I just don't know what to do with my bishop. My bishop is kind of trapped in. If I move to d6, he can just take my pawn. I can move here, e6, but it can be a target. You know, you can move over. Then where I'm putting my bishop after that. So I'm a little unsure about my bishop. I gotta find a way to get it out there. E5 is pretty decent too, just to have more control. I also can play king to a7. So e5 for control, king to e7 is also possible. King e7 allows my bishop to come through, but he already moved c3, so I probably don't need it. So I'm gonna go e5. Yeah, because I only lease my bishop, but he plays c3, so e5 is fine. Give me center control. My bishop doesn't really have much attack anyway after c3, and I gotta find a way to take advantage of this. I want to be able to move my queen here, but I can't because of his pawn. His pawn can just take. So, gotta figure out how to go about this in the best way for my game. c4 looks kind of good for him. I can't take it because he'll just take my queen for free. My bishop's not developed. My rook's no longer protecting my queen. They're not communicating. I might even play rook to d7, but then again, that'll blocking my bishop. So bishop actually to f5 might be okay because if he takes up his knight, I take my rook, and I finish my development almost. So that might actually be pretty good. Might be pretty good if I did that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Oh, this is a tough spot. It really is. I had to get my bishop out. Last game I was talking about how happy I was keeping him cramped so I can checkmate him. And now I'm pretty cramped right now. So that's not very good. And my pieces are a little awkward. They really are. Little awkward squares. So I gotta fix that. I gotta think of ways to. We're out of the opening now, so right now in the middle game, the idea is to basically improve my pieces, find my weaknesses, try to fix them. So king at h7 looks like an idea to fix my pawn structure right here. Maybe be able to move my rook back to f8, or even rook to d7. My bishop can go to f5 as well instead, just to kind of get things going. So now I gotta think about how to yeah. I also have bishop to e6. That's an actual developing move. That's safe. Bishop to e6, protecting the pawn. This pawn's protected by the knight, and my rook can eventually come over and come in the game. So I like this. I'm gonna go ahead and develop my bishop. I don't see any tactics, so I'm not too concerned. I don't see any tactics that he can do. So as long as you know tactics, I can play my subtle developing moves, and then eventually Kapow tactics just flow. All right, he's attacking my pawn. That's definitely need to concern myself with that. So king h7. I've been talking about that for a couple moves now. A couple of moves now. King h7. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead with that. Looks like I need to keep my stuff safe. I feel pretty solid. I'm pretty happy. I'm actually pretty happy with this. Now, this is improved. Bishop's improved. My rook might be coming to c8 maybe. I can move the queen out the way and move my rook to f8 to have a battery. So definitely looking, pretty good. Definitely like this. His position is not that bad either. He's up a pawn, but position's not that bad. So it looks pretty even, and I usually feel good about like what I'm going to be doing and why and how. So I'm thinking about a sacrifice. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but rook takes f3, and the reason why is because he can take back, and I'm not sure if my bishop will be going to e taking or my queen going to h4, because once I sack my rook and he takes back, if I have my queen to h4, my other rook can come in and attack, and then I have my rook in attacking, my queen in attack, my bishop ready to take on h3. I'm sorry. It looks like a pretty good sacrifice, and I don't see a way for him to. His pieces are not going to be defending very well. So I'm going to go ahead. I think this is fine. Rook takes f3, g takes f3, queen to h4, and I have the idea of moving my rook in if I need to, taking here with my bishop if I need to. Everything's pretty much developed, and I don't see a way to do this besides that. I mean, I'm also going to take the pawn here for free. If he takes the pawn bishop, I can just take the knight instead of sacking my rook. That actually might be even better. Yeah, I'm gonna take the pawn. I think this is better. But it's the pawn. He can't take it. He takes it. I take his knight. I didn't see that, but I guess I have to take it. I don't know what else I would do because I lose my bishop, and I'm in check, and my rook, and I didn't see that type of counterattack. Oh, he can take my piece now, and I can't come in and sack the rook. Okay, that changes the position a lot from what I was expecting. So, but he's still a little exposed. It's not as strong as I thought. Maybe the rook sack would have been better. I don't have the same type of attack after the bishop won, so I don't have the same type of attack anymore. So yeah, he can come in and take the pawn. I can take his pawn, and both of our kings are exposed. We both can attack each other. That's basically what ended up happening. If I sacked my rook, I think I would have been winning, but I also didn't see fully through how I can go through that. So, which is fine. So now we're both exposed, and whoever is better at tactics are going to win. That's pretty much how this looks. All right. And these games are pretty long. I should probably play 10-minute games instead. I was just worried about losing on time, is basically what I was doing. But I need to find ways, yeah. My pieces are pretty well developed. I like rook to f8 at some point. I really don't know. Yeah, I can develop my rook. make it more active. I don't see any tactics he can do against me. He can take my pawn, but that's fine. It's not. I don't see a way to really defend my pawn. I mean, I could have moved it up one to sack it and chain with the queen. So that's an idea too. But I have a rook battery. So rook batteries are good, especially in the middle game. They help put pressure on the open file, which this is half open. So it helps put pressure here. Where the game is actually at. And if he takes my pawn, I also can play d4. If he takes, I can move my knight into d4, also having my knight into the attack. That's an idea as well. Um, let's see here. I was going to rook to f3 as well. Rook to f3 looks pretty good. The reason why is because it stops the pawn from moving. Like he can't move advance his pawn anymore, and it kind of blockades and sticks it. The reason why that's good is because if he moves his pawn up, he can move his rook up, move his rook over, and then he has his own battery on the same file as mine with his pawn. So he'd be counteracting my battery with another battery. So if I go rook to f3, I kind of will be blocking that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to block his pieces in. He can't really take it with his bishop because of the color. It's on the opposite color square of his bishop. And his knight, that would take a few moves to maneuver to try to attack it. And the knight really doesn't have many squares to go. I mean, go back here and then here and then that way. But fine. I should, if he moves his knight anywhere, so I can move a queen in for check. So he won't be able to do that to attack my rook. So my rook is pretty safe. That's why I moved it. I figured it was good. And I blockaded it. So blockade his pieces. So he's going to figure out something from here. I actually kind of like this. I want to be able to take this pawn here, but his king is obviously not allowing it. If I move up to e5, my knight come in as well. And I can move my knight to d3 maybe. Ooh. If I can move the pawn to e5, knight to, I'm sorry, knight to, if I move e4, knight to e5, then knight to d3, I will be attacking this f2 pawn again with my knight. I think that's actually really good. I like that idea. I'll be attacking with the rooks twice, the knight. I can even bring my queen in at some point, and I'll have all my pieces targeting this pawn that I blockaded. I actually like that a lot. So let's see what he does, and hopefully whatever he does doesn't prevent my idea, because I really like it. I really, really like the idea of e5 and bringing my knight in. So that's for sure. I wish I could do arrows. That always bothers me when I play live games that are rated. The arrows disappear. I can't do it. I only can do arrows against bots or in unrated games. Which is why I tell everyone to, when they challenge me unrated. I can explain more and do more arrows. But this is pretty good. Yeah, like I said, these games are, I think, a lot more positional than under 1,000. Under 1,000 is like super tactics, and everyone's flying around attacking each other. Here, it's like you have to build up, and especially in this open, the perk is like really slow build up. So I like it. I feel like it's good and solid. I avoid lots of stuff in the opening. I had a hard time with black for a very long time because I felt like I was on a defensive the whole time, and I didn't know what to do. And the perk, it's very positional, and it's a slow build up, and that doesn't stop my e4 idea, so I'm gonna go ahead with it. But it's really slow and very positional, and it prevents lots of tactics that can happen to me, and a lot of people don't study it, so that's why I like it. That's why I like it a lot. So definitely a slow build up. Knight to e5 and knight to d3 is what I want to attack this pawn again. I think that's a really good idea for me. And I really hope that he moves his knight out of the way so I can call a check and just smash him out like really easy and quickly. Even movement, yeah. If he moves there, I want to just like check, move the bishop in, check, and do all types of crazy stuff. All right, it doesn't stop my plan, so I'm gonna continue with knight to e5. I don't think there's anything he can actually do. Oh, he does something. He can actually take here. If he takes here, I can take his queen, and then he can take my queen. Oh, then I'll take his rook with my knight. So it's actually not that bad. Pretty good for me, I think. If he takes, I take. He takes my queen. I take his knight, his rook. So that'll be good for me. I almost thought I blundered for a second there. A little tricky, but it's defending the queen. So if I was defending the queen with that move, that would have been a blunder. That's for sure. So I have to notice stuff like that in advance if I ever want to be a professional chess player. Like I get lucky sometimes, and I like this right here. I think is lucky. Um, yeah. So he takes, I take the queen, and then if he thinks he's taking my queen, okay. So we basically exchanged a lot, and how do I continue from here? I mean, I can't attack his bishop, which I should. I should attack his bishop and the pawn. Okay. Knight e5 looks pretty good. Knight to e5, maybe knight to d3, but he's defending this pawn really well. Now that all the pieces are traded off, I probably wants to take this pawn, but I can't. If I take it, he'll take it, and then that's it. you know, um, I don't see what I can do after that. I mean, I can attack his knight. If I take it and he takes it with the bishop, then I can attack his knight. If I take it and he takes it with his knight, I can take his bishop, take back. I might actually be able to win a piece. If I take here, knight to c5, and he takes up his knight, and I take the bishop, and he takes my rook, I would win the piece. If I take and he takes his bishop instead, I can play rook to f4, threatening his knight. And if he defends, then I can take, he can take, I can take. Yeah, I think I win a piece either way. So I win a piece either way. That's basically what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead with that. That was pretty awesome to see. This is why tactics are super important, like combinations and stuff. I'm practicing blindfold chess too, so I can see full games in my head. And this has definitely been very helpful with that. Right now, he should probably realize he should resign. He's super low on time, and I'm basically going to be winning a piece out of this. Yeah, so that's pretty much game. I'm going to go ahead and take the... He has lots of pawns, though, so he might want to play on. Okay. He wants to play on. Excuse me. I'm gonna play a5 first. I'm thinking about playing b5 to attack the pawn, waking the pawn up. So I'm gonna play a5 first, and then play b5 just to attack the pawn in a more solid way. I want to stop him from playing b4. He'll probably play b3 though. So it probably wasn't much of a difference. For a second there, I thought I was doing something special with my pawns. Rook to b5 or b5. Rook to b5 or b5. I think b5 would be better. I'm going to advance my pawns. Oh, rook to b5 might have been better. Rook to b5 might have been better. I'm going to go king to h6 just so I can get my bishop out in the game whenever I need to. So I'm up a piece, but he's up 2 pawns. So I have to be careful because he could be trying to make a queen. He's bringing his king towards the center. He has an extra pawn here, an extra pawn here, and he might be trying to find a way to push. That was a... I think he actually did a mouse flip. He probably was trying to play a rook to f4. Yeah. That was definitely a mouse flip. I'm going to try to do a 10-minute game. I think this is I think the games were a little bit longer than I expected. I'm not used to playing long time control that much anymore. I'm glad I did though, because I've seen some stuff I probably wouldn't have if it was shorter time control. But I kind of want to do a 10-minute game. I want to add at least one game with white. I so far everything's been with black. Been very slow positional build up with the perk. Perk is the only defense I use with black. Perk or King's Indian, depending on the move order, but it's still perk to me. So I heard something. I'm not sure if that was a game starting or not, but I guess it wasn't. All right, I really, really want one game with white. So let's see here. 10-minute game. Um, it's not working. Yeah, this is just not working. Me signing up for the game is just not working. So I'm gonna go to homepage and then go. Maybe that'll work. Okay, yeah, okay. Now it should work. Sometimes it's computer stuff, small glitches here and there happens. I have an old Chromebook, so it's not really up to date, anyways. So is it really doing this with me? I guess I'll do a 15-minute game. Wait, stop. No, 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 stop. Uh, I seen this right here, and I'm like, wait, I can do it here. Okay, I got white. That's what I wanted. So let's go ahead and smash somebody out with the Evans Gambit if possible. Okay, Sicilian. For the Sicilian, I have a trap. I start with knight f3. It depends on what he does, but I'm gonna wait to see if he plays d6. Okay, he doesn't play d6. I normally playing the outline, which is with c3. So that's my opening for the Sicilian. Um, Bishop e2 is very common with this line. So, or the line that I use at least. All right. Knight to castle. Play d4 very soon for the center. Um, let's see here. Yeah, d4 is fine. I'm not sure if we're still in book or not. Okay, take back. All right, everything's pretty standard. Now we're in the middle game, at least from my understanding. And let's see. A few moves come to mind. I like the idea of d5 only because if he takes, I take back and I dislodge his knight. My pawn will be overextended, but I also have knight to c3. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna overextend my pawns, but I think it's perfectly justifiable. Yeah, if he takes, I just take back, and okay, I have knight to c3, which I like. I can also take his knight, but let's see here. I also like d6 actually. The reason why I like d6 is because it's defended by the queen, and he can't really attack it very easily. So this right here is going to prevent him from getting his bishop out and castling. So I'm going to try to restrict him in the beginning the best that I can. Make it as hard as him as possible to develop his pieces. So okay. Attacking the pawn. I can't really do anything about that yet. I really can't. Knight takes, knight takes. Knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. I don't know. I think I'm not sure if I messed up or not. This is like a little difficult for me to process. Hmm, I'm just gonna develop my piece. I think this pawn is gone, so I'm just gonna go ahead and develop my knight. I think I made a mistake doing d6. It was a nice idea to restrict him, but I think I messed it up. I didn't have a good follow up, and I didn't really think of queen to b6 to attack it. So that's okay. All right, queen takes. Um, I'm gonna take the knight. I want to be able to free up my this right here, this half open file. I mean, this open file. I want to so from my rook. I want to be able to punish him if he decides to develop. So I want to just punish any development that he might have. Um, how to punish him? How to punish him? I like bishop c4. It's going to be attacking his pawn and at the same time attacking his queen. So it's like a double attack. And I like attacking this pawn because it's normally pretty weak. And I like my bishop c4. It's my normal spot for my bishop. It's my favorite spot for my light square bishop, to be honest. Whenever I get a chance to go here, I usually like to go here and possibly move back to b3 and move my queen up and attack the pawn, move my rook over, or attack the pawn, move my, I just like to do what I can to attack the f7 pawn. And this right here allows a great, I am down a pawn, so it looks pretty even still, but I'm still trying to attack as much as possible. But I think it's even. And if he attacks my bishop, I'm not sure if, yeah, he did attack my bishop. I'm not entirely sure. Bishop b3 is what I like. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, castled. I can double attack the bishop with knight to d5, forcing him to move it. Move maybe my bishop out and my rook over. Looks like a good idea. I don't really see much attacks that he has, so I'm not too worried. I'm just trying to develop and attack myself. I don't see anything that he can actually do to attack me. And that's why I'm not really calculating his attacks because I don't think he has any. I don't think he has any. So, yeah, I like the idea of that. And then maybe bishop e3. I mean, bishop e3 and then rook to c1, then knight down here to c7. And I want to attack everything. I'm attacking this a few times, but it's also defended pretty well. So let's see how this works. Okay, he's attacking on f2. Bishop to e3 was my idea, and I still can do it here. It's perfectly fine. He doesn't really, like I said, I don't see an attack that he actually has, um, which puts me in a better situation than him. As long as I don't put up on attacking, I should be fine. And right now, I don't see an exact attack, but I see ways to develop, which is almost the same thing. Like rook to c1 is an idea that I currently like. You know, and if he moves the queen out the way, I also have knight to b6 to attack the rook. So like let's say if he moves somewhere, um, no, he can't move anywhere that I can fork him. But knight to b6 is pretty good attacking the rook, and then moving my rook over to attack the bishop. I may actually be able to win the bishop. Once he moves the queen over, knight to b6. He moves rook to, let's say, then I move my rook over one, attacking the bishop. Oh, I won't win anything though. If I take, he takes, and if I take, he takes. Yeah, I don't win anything. For a second there, I thought I was winning a piece with the knight to b6, but that's not the case. That is not the case at all. Oh, what about knight to b6, rook to b8, and then queen over here attacking there? Because if I but he also has rook to a7, but I can take here. Yeah, there's a lot of tactics. Knight to b6. If he moves to rook to b8, I have queen to d6 attacking the rook. And if he moves back, I can take it. If he doesn't move back, I can still take the rook. If I play knight to b6 and he goes rook to a7, I can actually attack his bishop. He takes, and I take his rook. So I think I actually win a piece with this. I'm glad I didn't stop once I thought it wasn't going to work. I'm glad I looked into it a little more and found the queen to d6 move. That's very interesting. Yeah, so queen to d6, and that should just be, yeah. He does have queen to 5 though. I feel like a dummy. I'm like, I really thought I won a piece. um, yeah, that's okay though. I'm not too worried about it. I have a good idea. He has to find a defense. Still pretty even. All he has to do is go queen to e5, and he is defending his rook, and his queen's defended by his knight. So I can't win anything. Um, Hopefully he doesn't see that, and it's an easy win. But I don't think there's much I can do after that. I mean, I could move my bishop out the way to attack his queen. If he goes queen here, but then if I do that, he'll take my queen. So I have to basically move my bishop to defend. Okay, so he didn't need that. He needs to attack the knight. Um, I guess queen to b8 wins a piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I think that's what I should do. And he takes. Now that I'm up material, I'm just gonna start trading. Trading is the easiest way to win when you're up in material. So that's basically what I should do now. And I think I should my queen back. No, I don't need to because his bishop's blocked in. So I can just attack his bishop. He can't really move out the way. So ooh, that's a nice move there. If I take his bishop, he takes my rook and his checkmate. That's really good. That's really, really good. I'm still up in materials, not a problem. I just gotta find a different plan of ideas. I was gonna move my queen out the way as well. So I probably should do get my queen to d6 maybe. D6 is an active square for my queen, but I'm not sure how to follow up. I also could move king to f1. That way I'm renewing the threat because he won't be able to checkmate me. But if I'm with queen f1, he can maybe call check. But then I can block it. Take this. I don't know. King f1 looks like a pretty decent move. I'm going to go ahead with that. I'm renewing the threat again. But he also has, like I said, he also has a different move. He has queen to b5, so yeah, I figured he'd do that. I have bishop to c4, but I don't have the threat anymore. Bishop to c4. I don't have the threat anymore, but I don't want to win king back, you know? I just don't know what to do right now. I'm up a piece, but I'm a little stressed out because I don't know what to do exactly. I know what to do, but I don't know how to do it. I'm supposed to be trading as much as possible, and it has been kind of difficult. Bishop to d3 renews a threat, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. He doesn't have the check anymore, so he renews a threat against his bishop. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm really been trying really hard to win this bishop because I thought it was for free, but he has proved that it is probably not for free. He actually can move his queen back to defend it. No, he didn't defend it. I think I can take it. He has no counter checks, no. Okay. That was really hard. That was really hard, man. That really was. I'm gonna pre-move this capture in case he does take. That was really hard, man. That was really hard. All right. I think I got lucky. I was able to keep attacking, and I want to actually I actually want to analyze this one, and then after that, I'm be gone. Where's the analyze thing? All right. All right. I definitely want to go over this one. Yeah, I forget how long this takes. I gotta do the actual computer analysis right here. Okay. And then I have to change my the where I'm streaming at, so you guys can look at it, because when I clicked in board, it goes to a different window. So I go back to restream and switch the tab that I'm sharing. So give me 1 second here. It looks like it goes off for a second, but it's perfectly fine. I'm just sharing a different window. So it's just a process that I had to do. So give me 1 second here. Okay, I switched it over. All right. Click on game review. This one was really hard, so I want to see how well I actually did, and if I made mistakes and not whatnot, and which ones. 85%. Okay. So you only have one blunt. So that was probably the queen move, my guess. But let's go ahead. These normal opening moves for the Sicilian. I know you go for Alpine, but this is called Kelly system because he chose a different system here. Okay, so I usually win against this at 54%. It's pretty cool. Yeah, that's good. I'm not going to change my moves for the best because this is what I normally play. I'm comfortable with it. And that's his blunder. I thought he blundered at the end. That's kind of odd. Okay. I'm glad it's a great move. I thought I messed up because after he took and I took and he moved, I went to d6 because I felt like I was restricting it. And it's considered best, but he played queen to b6. I couldn't really stop him from taking my pawn. I thought I messed up, so I just developed. So I guess yeah, that's good. So I knew if he I took his knight, and I knew if he took with the queen, I can come in. Yeah, because I was gonna be doing these threats. And I already knew I could move back to continue attacking the f7 square. So I went ahead with that. I could have won tempo, so let's see what the computer suggests. Knight to e4, attacking the queen. Well, he can take this pawn. I mean, it's the... Oh, if he took the bishop, that'd be a nasty fork right here. Yeah, I sometimes see stuff like that, but not always. But that's nasty. Yeah, that would be crazy. Just to win the queen. That was a good move. I did not notice that. I figured just pile up on the bishop, have this here, knight can maybe go to c7 at some point, and just kind of come in. That's what I was thinking of. It's probably the same move. It's probably the best move again. Okay, no, it wasn't. Oh, this one's attack. I did that eventually, but not right away. So I guess that was my other inaccuracy. Yeah, that's definitely nice because I had pretty good threats. He defended extremely well here. I thought for sure I was winning a rook, but he showed me that he had defense. He has like some resources. So I take, he takes. Yeah, this right here would have been a plunder. He would have came in and checkmated me. So I was trying to basically win his bishop after that, and I moved in. So therefore now I can do the threat. He called check. I blocked. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to take the bishop anymore after that, but I kept the bishop on this diagonal, and I left the defense of it the same way. Um, this is considered a good move, but I thought he was going to play here. I thought this was the best move. And it showed me winning the whole time, but I didn't think I was. It's not loading a lot. My idea is to take here, and then if he takes, I take. Yeah, he takes, and we'll be even. So I thought that was good defense because I will no longer be able to take. Oh, I see now. If I move my rook up, I could actually still won something. Basically, after he defended, I would have to take knight because if I would have moved up, he couldn't defend the bishop again. So basically, I would have taken, he could take back, and then his bishop is trapped, and I would be able to win the exchange anyways. So, okay, I see why. All right, that's a good game. The computer didn't have to evaluate it for me. I got it. All right, well, good games. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me play a little bit of positional chess and trying to avoid simple stuff and be aggressive when I found the opportunity to do so. All right, like, subscribe, share. If you want to do more, I put the donate in the description. I found out how to do that today. I know I put in the comments, but I found a way to put in the description, which is better. I feel weird putting it in the comments every single time. So, all right. Thank you. All right, bye.